This is a short video from last weekend here in San Diego, California at the Coronado Speed Festival. SVRA's first event here, but they did a great job. We had a beautiful weather, except pretty darn hot, as you'll see later. We had a good group of cars with everything from a 1997 Lola Indy Light all the way back to a 72 Super V. It was really nice to have 7 Ralts in the field. Very unusual for that to occur. I was pretty pleased. I started in 9th and finished in 5th, and then number 11, David, started in 10th and finished 4th. So he and I had some great racing, and also Bernard and Paul.
Okay, these are the cars in the lineup for today's race. Sunday racing at Coronado.
A little bit of a delay while we retrieve a tire that came off one of the cars down at turn 1.
Here's my star. It is windy.
Two things to take from the track map here is the exterior video is shot from the blue box, and the far left end is where most of the passing occurred.
Here is the pace car. All the cars going around. There's Robert. We're getting headed towards the starting flag.
Stopped after the first lap, so evidently whatever went wrong was
Pace car is going off.
Pace car is off. We're ready for a start. Martin Lauber, Cal Meeker. About the 3/4 mark to break up some of the speed before they get down in turn 6, 7, 8, 9.
Come on, baby, you can pause, Paul.
So in these next clips, we'll do the start and the first lap, and then most of the second lap as well from the onboard camera. As you can see here at start, I'm 9th, 5 cars back on the right hand side. David's on my left. Just in front of him, well, there goes number 3, Jim, and number 40, Mike. The red cars were like 4 cars wide here. Doesn't look like such a good idea going into turn 1 and 2, but still 3 cars wide, but almost get into the back of Paul there, but doing all right. And then I managed to get some room here. Cars are stretching out a little, so some of the excitement is lowered. I've got the inside on Mike here, but I could have given a little more room coming out of here, so thank you, Mike, and sorry I didn't give you a little more room there. We're going down out of turn 4 now, headed to the tires, the chicane, which is not a friendly place. If you mess up here, you're going to take off the whole front end of the car. But mostly at this point, I'm satisfied. I've gained 1 position. I'm up in 8th from 9th. Paul went a little wide there. So I'm at this point just trying to set up on turn 10, 11 here. Paul's in a little tight here as well, helps me out. And basically just get a good jump on him and try to pass him down here into turn 1 and 2. And as we'll see here, that kind of works out. Thank you, Paul. He gives me a little room here. But Bernard is right in front of him too, and probably wasn't helping him, holding him up, so it's a fairly easy pass, and we keep on going here. So starting turn 2, and Bernard is driving a Formula Atlantic 1600cc Cosworth engine, and it's got a lot of pull, a lot of torque out of these corners, and so I'm just trying to stay with him, and if I do well today on this lap here, I'm thinking, well, I might be able to do the same thing to Paul down into turn 1 and 2 after we get through this section. So we'll switch back to an exterior view of the end of this lap and then come back. Oh, look, might get a little wide for me like Paul there, and I think he takes a bit of a defensive line here. Yeah, it helps me out. Anyway, we'll switch back to exterior and then back to interior to see if I can pass him here at the end of the straight. So Bernard does start to pull away from me here a little bit, but going into turn 1 here, he's quite wide and kind of leaves the door open for me. Thank you, Bernard. And then I kind of drift out in his way a little bit and then keep going and make that pass. So it worked out. This is the initial part of lap 3, and at this point I'm just thinking, okay, let's this is probably where the race is finished. I'm going to chase this Indy light car in front of me, but not likely to catch him. And so here we go.
Behind him, trying to work his way back up. He picked up 1 spot on that last lap. He can rise on far
So the rest of lap 3, 4, and 5 go as I just mentioned, but now as we move into lap 6, things start to change. So here we go. As you saw from the captions, I don't realize David's on fire and coming up behind me. Plus, as you see here in a little slow motion clip we're going to switch to, the Indy car spins out, black tire marks there in front of me. I think I hesitate a little, although it probably wouldn't have mattered. David blows by me as we go into lap 7 here. Truthfully, I'm not too concerned about it at this point. I think I'll be able to keep him close, but doesn't work out that way exactly. So using the track map to jump ahead, I put my head down and do 3 of my fastest laps in the 106s back to back and get a shot at David here. So here we are going into turn 1 on lap 10, and it's a little wide, probably made a little mistake there. I'm right behind him, and I think I'm going to be able to maybe pass him, but I do some experimenting here. I stay in second gear and in tight. I'm not really sure why I thought that would work. It didn't seem to hurt, but again on this back stretch here, turn 4, down through the tires, David was just smoking.
1977 Chevron finishes in second spot.
Go, baby, go.
So just a small jump to turn 4, lap 11 here. We've got some lap traffic, and so David takes advantage and jumps in front of Ron, but then gets held up by the car in front. Ron is his friend from Portland, and Ron lets me by nicely, thank you. And then we've got Mike, actually Jim here in number 3 right there. He waves me by. So David and I get through pretty easily. Carrie Ann was excited because she saw that David and I got through the lap traffic fairly easily, and that also prevented Bernard and Paul from catching up with me. So 2 more laps here. We're on the final one, lap 13, and I just can't quite pull David in, and this is the way we finish. So great race from new friend from Portland, David, and glad he came down. Not the smoothest track to run on, but quite a big event. I'm real thrilled. This is my lap times. I don't think I've mentioned I did 7 laps in the 106s and 4 on the 107s, and that's how I was able to beat some of the quicker cars, cars that had quicker individual laps. That's a shot of David's Ralta, number 11. Thanks to the team. Great preparation of the cars. The pits looked great. It did wear them out, as you can see here. They had a rough day. It was so hot, and just a lot of fun. Thank you to my lovely wife, as always, and Sue, awesome job with the food and everything. See you at the next race, Spring Mountain.